Hello, 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 hello. How are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you are going to watch this or when you are seeing this. Yeah, it's another lovely Sunday night. Yeah, night in Nigeria, 8 p.m. to be precise. Welcome to this week's Sunday gathering of the home heroes. Like I always say, who are the home heroes? The home heroes are the parents in the Parents Academy. They are the people in the first cohort 1.0, which is ending this month because we've even started our warm-up exercise for cohort 2.0, which is starting 1st of July. So if you want to be a home hero, come on board and let us journey through this parenting journey together. We'll hold your hands and do this together. Today, I'm not supposed to be alone. I'm supposed to be with one of the home heroes. She's yet to come online, but then before she comes here, of course, we have a whole lot of things to say when it comes to parenting. So I can't say I'm looking for what to say when it comes to parenting, especially in this modern era. Yeah, shortly before I came in live, I saw a very disturbing video of secondary school boys fighting, and one of them is a community school though. One of them just jacked the other one, hit his head on the cement, and he died instantly. I don't know whether he was confirmed dead, but he was lifeless and jerking like someone who is struggling, maybe last breath or something, and blood was already oozing out from his head. It was a very disturbing one. Now, that particular one that was fighting fiercely through this one on the ground stood motionless. At that point, that anger will vanish. Then the other one, the deed is done. Who knows whether he will make it or not. Now, what am I trying to say? This is a community for parents. Please, parents, talk to your children. Talk to them about anger management. Tell them walking away from fights doesn't mean that he's weak. Walking away from fights doesn't mean that he's a coward. It's something all of us should teach our children, because it's very annoying that you will raise up children maybe in SS2, SS3, and someone's child will kill your child, or your child will kill another person's child. It's not funny. So let's train children who will learn to manage anger. Anger issue is a very big problem. So if you notice that in your child, please start working on that instantly. Okay, our guest is here. Ifeme is already here. I'm going to add her now. She came in later. I decided to hold our viewers down with the story I just saw now before I started. So she's already smiling. Let me bring her to this
Sorry, ma.
stage. Face. Welcome, Chinwendu, right? What I know is Ifeme.
Yes,
Whatever is
ma'am.
your welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. I was thinking if you want me to be lonely this evening.
No,
Thanks for
ma.
showing Thanks for showing up. Okay. Let's
Okay.
start with introduction. You introduce me yourself. I'm not the one that will introduce you. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, Miss Ma. Good evening, my fellow parents. I am Chinwe Ifeme. I am a teacher with over 14 years of experience.
Wow. Interesting. My fellow
Can you hear me?
educator.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. You talk about are you a mother? How many children? Married?
Well, I'm married with 3 kids.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a
You
daughter
need to say
and a
that so that
sister.
okay. You
Hello,
need to
ma.
say that
Can
so
you hear
that
you?
yeah, I can. I can. You need to say that so that they will not start putting application now. My heart no day.
No, I'm married. Okay,
Okay.
ma.
All right. It's going to be interesting journey with you today, and it's going to be your story. You know your story more than I do. So you share your story to encourage other parents. We even have parents who are just starting. Maybe their children are just toddlers and they're like, ha, now this kind leg cow go take reach here. In Igbo will say, oh, so so but if people like you share their experiences, they'll be encouraged. If I keep talking, they'll be like, ah, Ma, you are an expert. We are not looking at you. You know all of those things. But when they hear from people like you, they get more encouraged, get more motivated, get more inspiration on how to still do well as a parent. Now, for my viewers, if you are just coming to this channel for the first time, please hit the subscription button because we have lots of juicy things for you in this channel. We have lots and lots of them. So hit on the subscription button so you always get notification whenever we post or anything or we have webinars like this. And just give this video a thumbs up, like it, share it for other parents to join and learn. Now, our guest Chinwe Ifeme has introduced herself. So let me start first. Can you tell us a bit about your parenting journey and what being a good parent has come to mean to you? Good parent in quotes. What does it mean to you?
Okay. All right. Thank you for the question. My parenting journey has not always been that smooth. I began the parenting journey from the idea I got from my parents. Then,
Okay,
with the little experience I had in my teaching line, that
okay,
was how I was able to start. So, along the line, the era of sexual education came in. I grabbed the idea. I added it to knowledge, the little knowledge I had on my kids when they were growing up. Until recently, the parenting group came in. So I had to
okay,
join so many parenting group, including this particular one now, Parenting Academy. So in this Parenting
okay.
Academy, that was when I understood what it means to be a good parent. It was through this parenting journal, this parenting academy, that I learned that good parents means being an intentional parent who will look up for the children and see parenting job as a daily routine task. And I equally learned through the Parenting Academy that parenting is a very serious business, which the parents will have to model the children based on the different stages, which are infants, early childhood, middle childhood, and adolescents, in order to make them useful adults in the society. Now, also, I equally learned that it is being involved in a child's life, both the moral aspects, the social aspects, and academics, being there for your child, not just there as a mother figure, but being there and getting it what right. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Do you know, as you are saying this, I'm like, is even now I'm remembering all the things I've taught you people in that academy. I'm like, oh, I've actually taught a lot. Yeah, yeah, you captured it very well. You captured, I don't even have anything to add to that. You captured it. But thanks for being a good student.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
one
ma.
of the heroes of the Parents Academy. So she is talking about the things we learned in the academy. So if you are just waiting for us here on YouTube, you are missing a lot because in the academy we do a whole lot. We do so much. Don't fail to be part of the upcoming cohort 2.0. I just made it very easy. Come and test what we're doing. Monthly subscription, 5,000 naira. Come and test us. If what we are doing doesn't make sense, don't pay again. But if it makes sense, you continue. But if you pay for 6 months, 30,000, you will get a free psychological self-awareness test. I will personally carry that test on you, analyze you, and tell you about yourself, that unique potentials in you. I'll tell you about it as a counselor. Then you will also get free parenting journal if you pay 30,000 naira. But if you pay 5,000, you're not getting any freebies. Okay, now back to our guest. She said something very important. Being a parent is not just mother figure, father figure. No, it's more than that. It's more than that. You need to be there intentionally in terms of their social, spiritual, academics, all round. And she mentioned something about different developmental stages. You need to understand this for you to parent properly. You can't parent something you don't understand. It's impossible. Just like our parents, it was more of trial and error. Today, we know better. If you do trial and error in today's children, your is your name, because you will regret it at the end. Okay, now uh, let's go to the next question. Have you ever struggled with the feeling that you are not doing enough for your children or family? What triggered that feeling? You will tell us before you joined the academy and after you joined the academy. We want the before and after stories.
Okay. Well, before I joined the academy, I wasn't having much issues with the children growing up. At this the early stage, I never had problem. It was when they become teens that I started noticing all these new things coming in. That was when I
That's true.
had issues. But during that time, the only error I had then was issue of house chores. I never started on time with the kids. So it was affecting them. It was when you started telling us to start early, telling them to do it, that I started with the rest. So I never had much issue then. So then when I joined the academy, I noticed something that was one that knocked me off, honestly. So during that time, one of my one of my child, who is in secondary school anyway, so I noticed that when he was about going back, he left one item. So I could not take him back because I was down. So when I opened the bag, I saw and something inside that bag that was not he was meant to go back to school with. I opened it. Immediately I had to call and ask someone to give him the phone. When I asked him about it, he kept quiet. He never said anything. So immediately at that particular point in time, a voice was just ringing in my head. You failed. You failed. You failed. I
Yeah.
began to have series of headache. And during that particular point in time, honestly, it was as if my word was, I don't know what really happened to me then, but I was hearing that voice. I wasn't comfortable anymore. Now, I was not a BP patient, but my BP had to rise at that particular point in time. So I
Yeah.
slept the following morning. I couldn't sleep in fact at night, that particular night. But later on, I later slept. Then when I woke up, I was still having that guilt in me. So I decided to go back to the school. I had to put the call across to come over. They permitted me to come. But before I moved, I had to call Miss Emma on the phone. She advised me on what to do. So after the advice, a voice in me said to me that you are still on the right track because everything that Miss Emma said was what you had in mind to do. So I moved
Yeah.
down to the school. I talked to him. After talking to him, I came back. I didn't end it there. During visiting, I continued. Now, I allowed him to come back for midterm break. I continued. I gave him 2 days for him to rest. Then the third day, I started. It was just as if it was one day, one block. I was taking it at a time until I was
Yeah.
able to started counseling like Miss Simba. So I was able to talk to him to see the
Yeah.
importance of what he has, the negative aspect of what he has done, and how to correct him, and the consequences. Though I punished him
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Because he needs to
so I
face the
took away one of,
consequence. It's a
yes, I
lesson of
told him that
life.
there are consequences for him. Yes. So I didn't sweep
Yeah.
it under the carpet. I followed it up and I told him, even the elder one, I even told them that such art is not good and you shouldn't indulge in it. So I told them after telling them that it's wrong. So that was, even after that, the guilt was still there. But I began, as day goes by, I began to talk to myself. I began talking to
Yeah.
myself. And I began watching changes in behavior. That was when the guilt now left and I became
Okay.
myself. But that thing took me
Wow.
almost 2 months before I came
Wow.
back to myself.
Wow. So right now the guilt is no longer there.
It's no longer there, ma. And I thank
Yeah.
God for
Yeah.
that.
Well, you see why it's very important to belong to a parent support group. Don't just be anywhere or everywhere. Be in a support group where the coach or the mentor is professional, is an expert in what she's doing, there's someone you would have called. The next thing you hear, take him for deliverance. There are demons attacking him. Village people are after him. You keep making mistakes upon mistakes. So you need to be in a support group. Like she said, when he came, she was able to call me because she was in the academy. That's why I said, if you join the academy, you have unrestricted access to a professional. Do you know what that means? You never can tell what these children will come up tomorrow with. You'll be like, oh, I'm doing enough. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I don't need any extra person to guide me. Look at her own. She didn't know that they'll wake up and do something. Even me as an expert, my children wake up to bring up something. Like she rightly said, why they were small, she thought there won't be any problem. Is when especially from 10 years, you will observe it, especially the boys. Once they get to 10 years, watch out for it. They must do something that will show you that, I'm getting into preteen, I'm getting into adolescent. No matter how you have structured. So it's not about being a perfect parent. No, it's about being an involved parent. You can never be a perfect parent. There is no perfect parent. It's about being involved, being on ground, seeing what is happening as it's coming. You are removing. Um, Training up a child has to do with nature and nurture. You will do your own in the house. Peer influence is there, environmental factors are there. They would influence the child, and the child will want to try what they're seeing outside. They'll bring it in the house. At that point where you don't have a support group, you don't have an expert to call. Because if she wasn't in the academy and she calls me, even if she's crying and dying, I'll tell her, 1 hour session is so amount of money. She will pay. I don't care what is happening to you because it's my time you are going to take. So you will pay. Just check it when you are paying 10,000, 15,000 every time you need a counselor for 6 months. Do you know what that means? Now, at the early stage, it's because she did what she's supposed to do at the early stage. That was why it was also easy for her to correct it. Now, you may say, oh, when my children get to teenage, I will join. Your name is sorry. Join now. They have not entered that teenage stage so that you will shape them well. You'll be able to influence them. At that teenage stage, if they come up with anything, it will be easier to direct them properly. But when you didn't start throughout their childhood, early childhood, middle childhood, they are so free, they do whatever they like, they don't know what consequence is. I bet you, if you try to correct at teenage, it will be like double trouble. You may correct too, but it will be very, very tedious for you. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Chinwe. Personally,
Thank you,
as
ma'am.
as a guidance counselor and a parenting coach, this means a lot to me. This particular story means a lot to me. I
Thank
believe
you.
other parents listening will equally learn from your story. At least they'll pick lessons. So if you are just joining us, this is exclusive interview with Mrs. Chinwe Ifeme. She's a home hero. That is a parent in the Parents Academy. She's a teacher and a mother and a wife. She's a sister too. Everything a female should be. That's what she is, as long as family is concerned. So another one I want to ask you, what are some common situations where parents, especially home heroes, feel the most guilt? Can you think of any of them?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay.
Well, one major one that was common in the group was parents losing their tempers whenever children upset them or whenever they do anything wrong. They start by yelling,
Yeah.
flogging, and shouting. So without correcting the acts that they need to show love, so that was a major problem then. Then another one
Yeah.
we experienced then was balancing our work with the demands, that is the needs of the child, or rather the
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
So then another one was another problem that made us feel guilt was being an autocratic parent.
Yeah. That's
This
true.
this was what we learned from our parents back then.
It's true.
So we are now
It's true.
imposing them
That's
on
true.
our children.
Mm,
So these were the three major common problems we had then.
Yeah.
in the home
But
heroes.
now, but now, how do you see these three things you mentioned, and how are you
Hmm.
managing them in your house? Because definitely you must punish them. So
Yes.
after being in the academy in the first cohort, how do you see, what's your perception about the yelling, being autocratic, and balancing work and family?
It wasn't easy for me at first. The shouting and the yelling got me because I was trying to use the shouting and yelling to prove a point anyway, to make them obey. So but at the
Yeah,
point, I tried stopping the yelling and shouting that almost give me headache at some particular point in time. So I started working on it. Instead of me
yeah,
to yell, if it is house chores, if the child not do, I will ask the child to repeat
yeah,
calmly.
yeah,
So in repeating calmly, when the child knows that he's
yeah,
going to repeat calmly, the child will do the work properly. I equally
exactly.
learned this one from you in the academy when you told us that the number of times I should tell the child the number of times that he or she wants to do the task depends on him. If you want to do it
Exactly,
once, you are free to do it once.
exactly.
So if you want to do it 10 times, it's up to you. So I
It's
use
up to
that
you.
idea
I
anyway.
did that to
Mm.
my son, and the others learned. I told him to wash toilets. I think I told that story in the academy. I told him to wash toilets,
Yes,
and
you did.
he did that, so that he will go back to playing games. I just came back. I said, I didn't even shout calmly. I just said, it depends on you. Go and wash it again. No, if you want to wash it 10 times, it's up to you. If you want to wash it once, it's equally up to you. I left. The sister was in the room laughing. I said, I'm saying something serious and you're laughing. And you know, this boy went back, washed it all the times we are sparking. I said, oh, you even so at that point, my head was cool. I didn't give myself headache trying to yell, yeah, yeah, I told you to watch this. I didn't do that. And him too, he calmly, gingerly, with good heart, watched it again. So there are ways we can actually correct. So that's the yelling. The next one, balancing work and family. So after the academy,
Uh, no, anyway, my teaching line was a very tedious work.
okay,
Anyway, at first, when I was in private sector, I was having challenges of coping with the work and my job. But later on, I coped anyway. Then, and now I learned how to work on my stress, which was a major problem to me.
yeah,
I do my tasks very well. I know when to ease off, when to have rest. In fact, I worked on my mental health. When I'm not feeling fine, I rest. Then
I
when I
love
gather the
that.
strength, I do my tasks properly.
Yeah,
So that's just
yeah,
it. So I've tried to tailor things the way they should be. But I do things on
yeah.
time. The kids, I had to have time for them, for their homework. Though they've gone on their own, they can do their homework on their own. But during that time, I had time for homework section. Once we are through with the
Okay,
homework, then I move over to what I'm meant to do for the day. Then I write my lesson note and lesson plan. So that was what
okay.
I
I
did.
hope you are in the. Are you in the teachers hub? Are
Yes,
you in
ma'am.
our teachers hub? Okay,
Yes, I joined.
because I'm going to
Yes,
teach
yes, yes, I
fast
joined.
way of preparing your lesson notes. Fast way, for the parents in the current academy starting in July. I'm going to teach them fast way to deal with the homework. Fast way to deal with the homework, so that when you are able to do it fast, you'll be able to face other things or have time to rest or have time to do other things. Because as a parent, you need extra source of income. That's true. So if you channel all your energy in training these children, which money you want take pay the bills? So we need the money. We equally need to train them. How do we balance it is a problem. So thanks for sharing that. That's a good one. Okay, now what role has being a home hero played in supporting your mental health, emotional health, and finances generally? What role has that played in your life?
Okay. Well, actually, Home Hero has really done a lot in my life. It has helped me to understand that in order to make it to be a good parent, then I must have to work on my finance. So Home
Yeah,
Hero has helped me. I now believe, and I know that savings, I know how to undergo savings. We were taught how to join the Optimus, which I joined. So
Yeah.
I'm now using it gradually. Then equally, it also helped me to engage, to upgrade myself. I've joined one program by Be Techified on software.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
So, yes, once I'm through with that one, then another one I'm about to enroll, which is Allison
Okay.
on early childhood, just to
Yeah.
upgrade. Then after that, I'll now have to go back and look for another course that I'll take up just to make sure I
Okay.
work on it. Then we are taught that once we are able to get our finance aspects, then the stress will not be much. Then we're able
That's
to
true.
manage our work and the finance and our family in order to get a positive result.
That's true. That's true. All right. Thank you so much, Chi. I just wish I will keep asking and asking and asking, but then I always don't like this video to be so long because people are watching with their data. I'm pitying them.
Okay, ma. Okay,
So if
ma.
you want to hear more or learn more, come into the academy. At least that's a WhatsApp group. Sometimes I drop voice note. In fact, this particular cohort we are entering, I'll be dropping voice notes every morning. Every morning, I'll drop a voice note, I'll drop some tests, and we'll do webinar every Sunday, like we are doing here, because this particular webinar came because it's a gathering for the home heroes. Thank you so much for coming on board. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. So, what advice do you have for parents who are still considering, should I join this academy or does it make sense? What advice do you have for them?
Well, my advice to them is that there is no amount of money spent on parenting that is worth producing a useful adult in the society.
That's
No
true.
matter the amount is spent, it's worth it.
That's
But they should go
that's
on. That we need to, instead of producing adults that will not be useful to the society,
that's true.
it will make our society a better place. So I
That's
advise
true.
them to go out and join the academy, no matter the amount. They should try and join the academy. There are lots and lots of benefits in it. Just like I
That's true.
said about the Optimus, I've never heard about the Optimus. I've never heard about the Allison training. I've never heard about a bit techified. It was there. I heard everything about all these programs, and I'm glad I joined. So I'm inviting everyone to join to be of
Okay.
useful importance to them.
All right. Thank you so much. Like you rightly said, having a wayward, unproductive, um, useless, let me put it in quote, child is something you don't even wish for your enemy. The truth is that we are not going to be this young all through our life. Just years to come, we'll get old. At that point, you are old. When you look at your children, are you going to be smiling or shedding tears? At that point, you'll be like, I would have paid 30,000 naira to smile. Meanwhile, maybe by then your mates, their children are useful, doing lots of good things for themselves, while your own child is looking for your wrapper to use you for money ritual. That is why you will know that you should have learned a skill to prepare this child. So that at 20, I told my children, at 20 years, you have started making money. That's what I told them. My daughter in year one, right now, she just entered year one. She has started making money. I said, even if it's one naira, before 20 years, you've started counting money. This is the reason I'm saying that, because by the time I keep them busy, engage them, and they're having their own personal money, they will have less chance of joining the negative trend because they're very busy trying to service their clients, their customers. They won't even have time for nonsense. But when you leave them, oh, she's in year one, she'll use the 4 years just to get one certificate. She'll have excess time to do nonsense. But the wife, just her last holiday, I told her you are doing two courses, and she's doing those two courses. These are courses that will help her. Right now, she's developing a digital product. I told her you publish a digital product. She's studying biochemistry. I told her that your course, study it very well. You are going to teach other people some things in your course. So the way I package her, people will even want to go and study biochemistry because of her. So these are the things we need to do, keep them busy. The brain is functioned in a way, the brain is lazy. The brain doesn't want stress. The brain wants you to relax, just don't stress me. That is the brain. Now, if you give that to your brain, poverty will be knocking on your door and that of your children. The same brain that wants relaxation, doesn't want stress, the same brain, when you keep bombarding it, it will keep stretching. It's like elastic something. It will keep stretching to accommodate that thing you are learning. As you are learning, is stretching. As you are learning, is stretching. By the time you have so much knowledge, just like you, the things you are studying now, by the time you have them, you can even write your ebook, publish things, because I'm going to train teachers on how to publish, write and publish ebook, and also have their digital products. You will start selling your knowledge. People will be like, ah, when did this one start? It's just a matter of putting your brain to make sure your brain is expanding to accommodate. This our brain can expand to the extent that even this platform we are using now, you and I can develop this platform. But it's because we don't put them into use. That's why our thinking, our thoughts is just within us. So in the Parents Academy, I'm going to push every parent in that academy. I'll push you to expand your brain. And by the time you expand your brain, honestly, that is generational wealth. Because when you learn, you teach your children will teach their children. Just in your generation, you not talk about poverty again. Even if you are not as rich as maybe the richest man in the world, but at least poverty will not be your story. You'll be comfortable where you'll be able to meet up with the basic needs of life. So thank you so much once again for coming. Um, any last word for parents,
Well, there is no.
especially
Well, I have something for
young
them.
parents
Yes.
who are struggling
Yeah.
with parenting, who may be like, oh, okay, okay, my husband just dropped. She said, Madam, I'm really learning a lot from your experience. Thank you for being natural. Okay. Yeah, my
Thank
husband,
you very much, Sam.
okay,
Hmm.
he's watching you. Okay, it seems there is a NEPA problem with your side.
Yes, they
Okay,
want to change the line.
okay, okay. Now, while you are still in the dark mood, when she comes up, I
Okay.
will bring her up. I'll bring her up when she comes up. So let me continue. Today is exclusive interview with Mrs. Chinwe Ifeme. She has been sharing her experiences. She's just natural, real, unfiltered. It's not packaged teaching. When you listen to her, you know that she's talking straight from her heart. Okay, she's back. Okay, I was asking a question. I said, let me add her back. Okay, I was asking a question. I said, what advice do you have for parents? Because when you go to social media, you see young parents, they'll be like, I bet you people should come and carry who wants children? Come and pack these toddlers in my in my house. I want craze because of this. You see lots of funny messages coming from parents. Now, such parents who are going through that, like, una no explain this thing well. Give us. Is this how parenting is? Will I ever come out of this? What advice do you have for such parents?
Okay. Parenting is a gift.
I want you to advise them also as a teacher. You know you're a teacher. So
Yeah. Yeah.
teacher,
Okay, ma.
parent.
Okay. Parenting is a gift, and everyone who is being gifted to parent should take it as a privilege. There is no word like perfection in parenting.
That's
Nobody
true.
is perfect. If we are
Yeah,
perfect, we will not be in the parenting academy.
that's
So
true.
we should take things easy with these children and gradually work things out with them. I believe that there are better ways of talking to them to get the right
Yeah,
pattern in them. If we model them in a better way, we will enjoy or rather reap the fruits of our labor. So we should take things easy with them. The yelling and the shouting will only give us high blood pressure. We should slow down a little
that's
bit
true.
and take
That's
things
true.
one step at a time. These kids will tell me, even the one I have in the classroom, they'll
Yeah,
tell me that we are Gen Z
that's
generations. So we should
Gen
take
Z
things easy
body.
with
Gen
them.
Z
I
body.
believe, yes, yes. I believe we should engage in conversation with them. Through
Yeah.
conversation, they will open up and give you everything you need to do. Then we need to be one
That's
step ahead of them because we are
that's true.
parents. We are born in the 19th or rather 18th century, but these kids are
Yeah.
21st century kids. So
That's
we need to
true.
be out. We need to be outsmarting them in order to
Yeah.
get the right things in them. So that's the advice I
That's
have for parents
that's
because
true.
we are
That's
seeing a
true.
lot in the school system.
That's true. That's true. It's even good you are coming as a parent. What subject do you teach?
I teach CRS, but
Okay.
I've taught
Secondary.
in nursery section, primary
Okay.
section. I've taught in nursery, primary, but presently now I'm in secondary section.
Okay, okay. So, like she said, we need to be a step ahead of them. Then, how can you be a step ahead of them when you are ignorant of everything they know? You don't even know up to the level they know. Talk more of being a step ahead of them. That's why I am inviting you to join us in the next cohort. Link to join the academy is in the description of this video. Then, I just published a book for teachers. I'm saying it here. I won't say it in the teachers hub. I'm saying it
Wow.
here. Only teachers who watch it. That book is called Smart Income with AI, a practical guide for teachers. I just launched it today. It's on seller. The link for that, if you go to the
Wow.
description, go through the link to my seller store. You see all my digital products. If you are a teacher, that book is for you. If you are coming into the teachers hub, get that book so that when we do our webinar, that webinar will be strictly for teachers. You can ask your question because you've gone through the book before the seminar. I won't talk about it in that teachers hub. Only teachers who watch this will hear about it. They will only hear it on 19th June when we do our free webinar for teachers. So if you also want to buy Between Love, Infatuation and My Identity, the one I wrote for the teenagers is a must for every teenager. Your teenage child need that book. The link to the ebook is also in the description. If you need the hard copy, write to us. We'll send it to you anywhere you are in the world, unless you are not on the planet Earth. If you are in the moon, maybe we'll look for a rocket to send it to you. So that book is a must if you have a teenager. The book will help your teenage know about feelings, infatuation, identity, discover himself or herself, be focused in what they are doing. So the link is in the description. Everything you need to know about us is in the description. Just go to the description. Any of them that interest you, you click on it, and we are just a click away from you. Thank you once again, Chinwe, for coming on board. Um, Hope to have you
Thank you,
again
ma'am.
on this show. Thank you so much. I appreciate you greatly. Hope you have the parenting journal. Do you have the parenting
Yes,
journal?
ma'am.
Okay. I
Yes.
hope you are journaling. Were you journaling?
I was journaling, but when I had those guilt, I stopped for
Challenges.
like 2 months,
Oh,
but you
don't
understand, but I later picked
continue.
up.
Yeah, continue. These are challenges we see
Okay.
as parents. It's not all rosy. These are choose kids are there. Remember, as you're training your own properly, someone out there is careless with his or her own, and all of them will meet in school. They will try to influence your own child, and your child will want to test you. Your child will want to stretch your patience, test your tolerance level, test your consistency level. So these are the things we see. Like you rightly said, there's nothing like perfect parents. What we have is involved and intentional parents. All right. Thank you so much. I will let you go, Chi Ifeme. Thank you so much for coming. Good night. Goodbye.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was our guest, Chinwe Ifeme, one of the home heroes of the Parents Academy. She was with us. She shared that story. It's something you need to listen to, hear her. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscription button, like the video, share for every parents to learn. It will encourage them. I still remain your guidance counselor, seasoned parenting coach, early childhood educator, and the founder, the Parents Academy, the founder, Global Initiative for Proper Parenting. Let's do this again next week, Sunday, by 8 p.m. Nigerian time, GMT plus one. I hope to see you next week. I'm bringing in another parent. I don't want all these expert lectures. I want you to hear from a lay person. That's why I'm bringing the parents. Until next week, keep being a good parent. Keep parenting these children very well. Continue to be you, not a perfect parent, but an involved and intentional parent. Cheers. Bye.